Sorry, no speed draw this time. Video got corrupted. But hey, this makes the editing process easier. Let me know if you prefer it this way. So, for those familiar with the Railway series and the television series, you know, depending on which stories you follow, Toby has two different backstories. Two very similar backstories, but different ones nonetheless. In the Railway series, the Fat Controller visited East Anglia and came across Toby, and he would later bring him to the Northwestern Railway after his old branch line closed down. In the TV series, it's pretty much the same, except his branch line is on Sodor. Now, I want to keep the East Anglia part of Toby's backstory, since reportedly, Wilbert Awdry took his family to visit a tramway in East Anglia and met the inspiration for Toby, and Christopher Awdry would later go on to say that Toby's his favorite character because Toby was the first engine he ever rode on, which that's just too sweet for me not to include. But I also don't want to lose Toby's backstory of being from Sodor, since, quite frankly, I like that origin for him. And plus, it plays into stories later on in the series, which would sadly be lost if Toby wasn't from a branch line on Sodor. So, here's my compromise. Toby is a J70 tram engine built in 1914. He works in East Anglia on his own little tramway alongside his brothers up until the line begins to close and his brothers are sadly scrapped. During this time, Wilbert and his family are visiting on holiday and get to know Toby, which is a bright spot in this otherwise bleak time for the tram. As Toby is taken out of service on May 31st, 1951, he is purchased by the Sodor Tramway Company. Toby is transferred to the island of Sodor and works on a little tramway for a few years before the line begins to go belly up, but before they could be bankrupt, the Fat Controller swoops in and saves their company by incorporating it into the Northwestern Railway. Toby's tramway was extended to meet up with the Farquhar branch line, and as the new year dawned in 1954, Toby was now proudly a part of the Northwestern Railway. Beyond that timeline change, everything about Toby is more or less the same as you would expect. Except for one thing. I feel that at some point, probably by the 2000s at the very least, Toby should be metal sheeted. After all, the wood rot can only be delayed so long, and besides, with the amount of accidents on Sodor, how long is it until a truck gets lucky and hits Toby? He would hate this modification at first, being an old-timey tram after all, but Henrietta would help him see the brighter side, and embrace change. Well, that's all I wrote. This is my ideal Toby. Sorry my voice sounded a bit off, I'm getting over a cold. Let me know if there's any Thomas characters you would like to hear me ramble on about, but most importantly, remember to have a good day.